Good day, beautiful people. How are you? What a fine day it is today. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in France and it is stinking hot, absolutely roasting. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about our trigger people, or what I call them, our rooters. You'll know these people, or this person in your life, because they will be the person who perhaps you love more than anyone else, or at least is a big player in your life. And yet, these are the people who just know how to set the alarm bells off in our heads, how to trigger us into that state of complete frenzy, that state where we literally are reduced to our root chakras, to our serpent energy. And it's not necessarily the nice serpent medicine where we can learn and bask in this beauty of non-attachment and non-judgment. This is the part of serpent which is snarling. The bit which, just like that, you can just flip and react, and perhaps you would say respond where you're not activating the kindest, most beautiful part of your soul, but the part that needs to learn more than any other. And we've usually got 2, 3, maybe 4 people in our lives who can activate this. It might be our partners, it might be our parents, it might be our kids, it might be our bosses. It could be anyone, but usually they play a significant role in our life, and they've been placed there very cleverly by spirit. So we can just learn. They're not there to annoy us. The reason for their existence is not to ignite that fire inside you which sends you snarling. Not at all. Actually, this person has been brought into our life to teach us a lesson so we can have awareness of exactly where we need to grow. And people talk about mirrors, and yes, this person is often a mirror to us, but don't forget that a mirror is not the fact that what they do is what we need to learn. It's what triggers you when they make you snap. That's the thing you need to look at. So, for example, this morning, mayhem in our house, children everywhere screaming, don't want to go to school, don't want to do this, don't want to get dressed, don't want to clean my teeth. So everyone in our house had their stress slightly heightened. And then, just speaking to my wife, she said to me, "Did you go swimming yesterday?" And I went, yeah, I did. I went, I dived in the lake. It was really good, thank you. Where did you go? I went to this beach. Okay. Why did you not go to that beach? And it really was an irrelevant question. It didn't matter. It really was completely irrelevant. But I knew that she thinks that I've got an issue with one of the beaches, so I deliberately didn't say that beach. I said, I hate that beach. I don't want to go to that beach. I mean, can you see how insignificant this is? When it was certainly making me see how insignificant it is. But I got wound up because I knew that in her head that she thinks that I think that I don't like that beach. So so this really crazy neural network in our brain has been set with these specific people where something from the past or an argument that may have been bubbling along for a couple of weeks or a couple of days can actually be reignited very, very quickly, just because I, in that moment, was slightly triggered by my wife. I was reduced to serpent's energy, 1, because I was talking to her, 2, because I was slightly stressed because of the kids. And yeah, we ended up in a completely pointless row. And about 30 seconds later, I was in the bathroom doing what's left of my hair. And I was like, you know what? That is just so irrelevant. That is completely irrelevant. So I just walked back in the bedroom and I just said, look, I'm sorry. I don't know why I got annoyed that you thought I was at that beach, and the reason I didn't go to that beach was because I didn't want to. End of story. And so a completely irrelevant argument wasn't eradicated, because it's still there, I guess, to a degree, but at least this time, and it doesn't always happen with me, I promise, I had the awareness to see that it wasn't really the nicest part of me, and that this element of me really needs to grow. And I went back and just said, it doesn't matter. We see these things all the time. I remember in my younger years, when I was growing up, my sister and my mum were amazing at this. And I think part of the issue was they were just so similar that they knew exactly how to get to the other person. And I think I had a similar relationship like that with my sister as well. You know, brothers and sisters, sisters and sisters, brothers, they are incredible at this, because they can use this energy and this complete knowledge of, this cardinal knowledge of the other person almost, to just get to that little place where they know it's going to trigger you. But you know what? It's a gift. It's a gift. And it becomes a gift the moment you can have that awareness, that moment you can go into that heart mind, that fourth chakra, that eagle energy, and you can just watch it and go, there you are, there I am, don't really like that part of me, need to grow, completely irrelevant argument, not necessary, and voila, there you are, you're in a really beautiful space. But I also wanted to add that this isn't just about having awareness in the moment. I mean, obviously that is probably the number one thing. But there's lots of different contributing factors which can influence the way we are in this space. So, for example, diet. We talked about diet a lot and the value of having a good, nutritious diet. And when I was younger, I would never have been able to put diet and me getting triggered by my sister into the same pot. I mean, what? But what I've learned, having changed my diet, and believe me, it's not always perfect, but when I do eat in a good way, I've really noticed incredible clarity in my head, not just in my stomach and not just with my general energy system, but also with my head. It's almost like a different, upgraded version of me. And it really helps me to get into that state of awareness during those moments of stress. And what I notice with people who have a high sugar-based diet is that this can have a major impact on our ability to move from that kind of serpent energy, that fight or flight mode that we go into. Bonjour. From that into this eagle space. So it's not just a matter of having awareness in that moment. It is also everything we put into our body, because we are what we eat, aren't we? So, I mean, what I would recommend, we're not going to go into the whole epigenetics and the whole diet thing right now. There's no reason to do that. But I think sugar has been a key player for me, and eating sugar, if you're going to have sugar, to eat it between midday and 6 o'clock, and that really helps. I say this as a father of 2 children who unfortunately have this, it's probably already an addiction to Nutella, and my wife is also highly addicted to Nutella. And I actually noticed that the moments post Nutella or post high sugar intake really see a different type of person and different type of reaction to certain incidents. And so this is really something to consider. Of course, there's other things. Meditation can really help us to see that space, taking deep breaths, spending time in nature, looking at trees. I mean, every morning I open the blinds, I open the windows, and I have my tree, which I stare at and I look at and I say my little mantras. And yeah, I mean, it's a combination of everything, really. But what I would say is, if you can, just try and remove as much sugar from your diet as you possibly can. And if you can't completely eradicate it, which is very difficult, I know, especially if you're moving around all the time, then try and keep like the major sugar intake and try and keep it as natural as you can. between that 12 and 6 o'clock, because otherwise it's going to be more difficult for you to just go back to that centered space, to go into your heart and to recognize when you're being triggered into your ego and when you're not. And yeah, it really helps you to become the witness in everything. So I think we'll keep it short today. That's all I wanted to say. But just remember who that person is in your life who does trigger you very easily. Send them some love. And when you start having these stupid, really trivial discussions or arguments, just remember, really doesn't matter. Take a step back, breathe, watch your ego coming in, smile, and don't let it come out of your mouth, and instead send them love. And if it's too late and you've already done it, just go back to them and say, I'm sorry, afterwards. And you'll be surprised how easy that is. Have a beautiful day. I love you all. Namaste.